all of the trash out. Your podcast a one-hit wonder like Smash Mouth. Y'all can talk all that big shit, don't wanna hear it. Shout out to the one and only Santana Garrett. Top rope, dropping elbows from other leagues. Boot to the face, hook the leg is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold to the hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face here on YouTube. Live on YouTube. We are back in the live game. I am Chris Rucker, that is EJ Reed, and together we are Boot to the Face. EJ, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing swell, man. Like you said, first time in a little minute where we've been live. What's good?
I'm trying to jump on YouTube and make sure our sound is coming through for the Booties, our award show. Oh, yeah, everything's good. So everything is everything. We are live. I'm going to jump in the Discord chat right now and let everybody know we're live, which I should have did already. We are live. But yeah, EJ, how the hell you been, man? Did you enjoy all the wrestling this weekend?
I mean, it wasn't a ton of wrestling. You know, this is kind of the weird part of the year where it's a transition from the old year to the new year. But you did have an AEW pay-per-view and, you know, the standard SmackDowns. They didn't have a collision.
An AEW pay-per-view is a lot of wrestling. Like that's a lot of fucking wrestling. But it was good wrestling, though. I enjoyed it. Did you watch it live or did you catch it on the replay?
I watched it live. I just got back to Missouri and have shit else to do, so I watched it live.
Yeah, I was out of town. We took a little day trip to Chattanooga this week, and I watched a little bit of it in the middle of the night. You know, got home from the bars drunk, fell asleep. I just don't sleep anymore, man. Like, my body just wakes me up at 4:30 every fucking morning now. Weekend, weekday, whatever. And so at 4:30, I'm fucking awake. I could have forced myself to go back to sleep, but I was like, shit, let me go over here and watch AEW World's End. And about halfway through, my girlfriend woke up. She's like, let's go to breakfast. So nice. I had to finish World's End once we got home and settled back down, but good wrestling, as always. Like, that's one thing about AEW you can never complain about is the pay-per-views are just really good wrestling pay-per-views. I didn't agree with all the results. I didn't like 90% of the results, but
I agree with all of the results because I predicted the whole card correctly. That's why I agree with it.
Shout out to Admire in the chat, and your eyes don't deceive you, Admire. This is the most handsome wrestling podcast. Mainly because of EJ. I'm bringing him down.
Oh, shut up.
But yeah,
which Admire is it? Is it a little Admire or big Admire?
You know, I know this has nothing to do with Boot to the Face, but I don't know if you paid attention to Facebook this past week. Little Admire had something going on with his mother-in-law where he was posting embarrassing pictures of her, and so Big Admire was like, "I got you." And he basically just posted pictures of Devin when he was little, basically saying, I had an ugly-ass kid. Like, there was nothing embarrassing about the pictures. He was just posting pictures of Devin when he was a kid.
Oh, man. Cold-blooded.
Right? That's fucked up.
I usually see all of that on my feed. I missed that one, though.
Yeah, I had a good time laughing at that. But, yeah, man, AEW World's End, the final episode of Rampage was this weekend. SmackDown, you know, we're in the as they call it, we're in the taint of the holidays, so a lot of the wrestling is pre-recorded and not a lot of movements going on, especially on the WWE side. So I mean, this is gonna be a AEW review show basically, and then we're gonna get to the Booty Awards or the Booties, the Boot to the Face End of the Year Awards, which I'm excited about. We got people to vote for it. Um, we had some people upset with our nominations, but
Yeah, we got to get into that.
it is what it is. But as far as AEW, man, let's get into it. AEW World's End was this week. Okada, the best tournament wrestler in the history of tournament wrestling, is what they kept saying, won the whole damn thing. You selected it, EJ. You got all your picks right. So clearly, I guess there's no surprise to you that Okada won. But now that it's over, how do you feel about the way it went down?
Yeah, like you said, when we first got on, really good wrestling on this show. Outside of the main event, we'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, expected as I went, and all of them slappers. I was very impressed with the crowd engagement because, like you said, AEW is a long pay-per-view, but the crowd was engaged the whole show, and shout out to them for that. I heard it was pretty much a sellout outside of like 100 or 200 tickets as well. So, you know, it's playing off that they're going to smaller venues. They went to the Edition Arena. It's about a 10,000 seat arena, but once you cut off the stage, if it's about 7,000, 8,000 people, so very good crowd. Um, yeah, the tournament went like I thought. Kyle Fletcher, they heated him up before the finals got on. Like I think he only lost like one match of the whole tournament, but when it got down to all him and Osprey, I knew they were probably going to go like the 50-50 booking because you paid a whole lot of money for Osprey, and they put on the slapper though, man. That was a very good match. They may have went a little bit overblood with the blood and whatnot, but that's what they do. Cause I feel like I'm starting to rub off on some of the people call them WWE bots, but you had MJF bleeding later on in the show with the match with Adam Cole, so I don't you could have probably picked and choose on which match could have bleeded, but that didn't, disturb me too much. But they had a slapper, and then Okada beat Ricochet, and they met in the finals. Okada and Osprey, and it was a throwback, callback to them in New Japan, and I feel like Okada's been kind of like just kind of playing the background a little bit to the Bucks and the lead, and this was kind of like his time to finally show out. So that's why I called it and ended up playing out that way.
How did Osprey get busted open? I missed that. I just looked up and he's fucking covered in blood everywhere. I didn't feel like I was watching it on I was watching a replay. I didn't feel like fucking with the the rewind button in case it would have froze or something. So
yeah. I think it was something either with the stairs or the guardrail.
Was it the hard way, or you think it was?
No, I think he played it. I don't think it was hard. I don't think any of it was hard way on this pay-per-view. But yeah, he had a gusher though. It was
he did. When he did that interview with Renee and started fucking hitting himself in the forehead, I was like, yo, you gonna get blood on Renee, boy, you better calm down.
Yeah, so shout out to whatever doctors patched them up, in between. They waited till the second to last match to wrestle again, which is probably the smart thing. But yeah, man, I enjoyed the whole Continental Classic tournament for the most part.
I was really disappointed that Ricochet lost the way he did, and then the whole thing with Swerve, it was just like, I ain't trying to be dramatic, but it was like uncomfortably like boring and stale. For it to be Swerve, like I expected more, and for it to be Ricochet losing to Okada, like ain't no shame in losing to Okada in a tournament, right? But to then just stand there and have people throwing fucking toilet paper at you, like, what the hell is that about? Shout out to JD Hoop in the chat. What up, JD?
So I have mixed feelings on that because I'm here for Swerve and Ricochet. I think that's the way they should go, and I think that's the way they are going to go. And I think this may be a little teasing of the Hurt Syndicate finally embracing Ricochet. So I'm on here for that. But I don't know. I don't like maybe just my way I'm programmed. I don't like segments in that in the middle of a pay per view. Pay per view is more so about the wrestling. It just felt like a dynamite segment. And and you're playing with fire with the whole toilet paper. I know it's fun and whatnot, and that's any gimmick I guess is better than no gimmick. But you don't. I feel like I don't want that to be his thing. Like people being assholes at all these events going forward, throwing toilet paper at him because I think that's wrestling fans are assholes.
It also feels like they didn't really have a plan, right? Because it was just last week when they were at the Hammerstein, where that's like ROH ECW home, right? And instead of throwing streamers, they were throwing toilet paper, and it was like making its way around the internet. And now all of a sudden, Swerve's got a fucking wheelbarrow of toilet paper with Prince Nana. I don't know. It was just, I thought it was lame. Like he said, he was gonna make it big and embarrass him, and all you did was have a bunch of fucking neckbeards throwing toilet paper at him. Like, if anything, it's more embarrassing that he lost when he said he was gonna win. But we'll see where this goes. Like, I'm kind of here for a Ricochet versus Swerve feud. Like, I'm starting to like Ricochet, this little heel gimmick he's got. People been complaining about him on the mic. I think he's been fine. Like, I've enjoyed him on the mic. He ain't The Rock, right? But he also ain't fucking, insert shitty promo wrestler here either. Like, he's been doing fine.
Yeah.
People just hating.
Yeah, I agree. I think people just like hating. It's something different. Y'all wanted something different from what he did in WWE. Now he's giving it to you. So, and that might not be 10 out of 10, but even if it's 7 out of 10, it's still better than what he was doing from earlier. And I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm ready for him and Swerve. Like I said, they could have waited to Dynamite and do it, but I guess they wanted Swerve to pop up on the pay per view. I guess, but yeah, I think the toilet paper was a little corny. You could have left that out of it, but other than that, I'm ready to see how it moves forward.
I agree. I think Dynamite would have been a better place for that. Like right after he loses, I don't know, but Okada and Ospreay then go to the finals and have. I thought I was watching Wrestle Kingdom all over again. Like, this shit was silly. The way it ended, like, I was mad that Okada won, but the way he won, I was like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. He literally just out wrestled him at the end and hit him with the fucking Rainmaker, and that was it. Turn his fucking lights out, And I put this in our Discord chat, which if you're not in it, check out our link tree and sign up. I think Ospreay's just taking too many losses.
I get what you're saying, but he's been putting so many bangers on that he's not taking a lot of losses like what's a good example? Maybe like a Baron Corbin towards the end of his run, or like Bray Wyatt's brother towards the end of his run.
You know who he's reminding me of?
What's that?
He's reminding me of like 2014, 15, 16 Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, well, I didn't check in.
He's having the best matches of the night, but he's losing.
Oh,
he's going deep into these tournaments, but he's losing. He's in the main events and he's in the title pictures, but when it comes down to win the big one, he's losing.
Well, I can't even comment on that because I didn't check into like late 2016, early 2017. I took my like 10-year hiatus off, but I don't know but Ospreay was highly protected in me, and he didn't lose until Swerve, and then he's been winning mostly, but he took the loss to Fletcher, and then he took a couple losses in the tournament just because he's so highly, respected. When he does lose, it seems bigger than it probably is. But I think he's prepped to have a big 2025, so I think, we'll be forgetting about these losses in the first half of the year.
You could be right, but I mean, how long ago was that match with Swerve? 4 months ago?
So June, July?
All right, so 6 months ago. In 6 months, he's lost to Swerve. He's lost to Kyle Fletcher. He lost to Darby Allin. He lost to Okada. And he lost to Ricochet. So in 6 months, he's lost at least 5 matches. I'm sure there's one more in there.
That's you count all of them. That's 5, and he's probably had about 20 plus matches so far in AEW. So
that's a lot of losses, though.
Is it though?
Yeah, that's a
If you
lot of
wrestle over
losses.
20, that's like a 75 over 75% win rate.
I hear you, but when this is your guy, right? Like this is your guy, one of your guys at least. You know, like how many matches did Swerve lose when he was on the come up?
He lost a bunch. He's been in the company
No,
because he came back.
when he was on the come up, when they realized,
I
okay,
can't
we need to start pushing this motherfucker.
I can't remember.
He lost to Bryan when he lost the title, and then he's taken a couple losses since then. But he was beating Hangman. He's beating everybody he was going up against. I don't know. You might be right. Like Ospreay is still at the top of the
Super over still.
yeah. He's at the top of the AEW mountain. It's just like beating him. Beating him isn't as big anymore though, right? Like he lost to Ricochet and Kyle Fletcher and losing to Darby Allin. Darby Allin don't beat nobody that's a main eventer.
Darby Allin's you know, he's that like special attraction almost. Like he's trying to take the torch from Sting and kind of mysterious. But that's probably the weakest loss. I'll give you that. But they're trying to, prop Fletcher up. They're trying to give him the rub. Him and Ricochet are pairs. He lost to Swerve. That was your champion. So, it's like nitpicking. I get it, but he's fine. He'll be fine going into this next year, I think.
In the chat, JD Hoop says Kyle is putting on size, reminding me of Orton. That was gross when he was licking off Ospreay's blood.
That was gross. I saw the picture too. They were comparing him to Orton. I didn't see it until I saw the pictures. They both shaved the shape. Now their Fletcher's got the shaved head and he's got the tats. I'm like, I can see a little bit now. So.
Yeah, he's like, I can't remember the year exactly, but when Orton was doing the legacy thing, where he had lost a lot of weight, he was still like ripped, but he wasn't nearly as muscular as especially now. But he had lost a lot of weight and he had gotten a lot smaller. That's who Kyle Fletcher reminds me of. He reminds me of that Randy Orton.
Yeah. It's time for him to show and prove. Going forward, I mean, I get his teammate has the international title, but I think he needs to probably be in that scene going forward and, do a slow rise. You don't have to shoot him up and contend for the world title. It's what the mid-title scene is for. It's for your younger stars. He's like 25, 26. So,
I can tell you,
don't rush it with him.
There's a lot worse people you could be compared to than Randy Orton.
Yeah, I know.
Like when people are comparing you to that smooth motherfucker in the ring, you might be doing something right. We'll segue with your talking about the other guy in the Callis family. Takeshita that just beats fucking Will Hobbs. Like, yeah, just beat him. Choked him halfway out and then beat him with a suplex.
I called it though. I mean, like he just got the belt. Like, of course we're here for Hobbs. I think Hobbs, he has the look. He could go in the ring, but I just think it was a little bit too soon to be taking it off to Takeshita because Takeshita is, I mean, he's the future. He's like 20, same age as Kyle Fletcher, like 25, 26. He can go, and I don't want to, harp on this too much. But one thing about WWE, for some reason, they can't with the women. They do a good job with the women as far as the Asian women, but as far as the Asian guys, you haven't seen really a Asian guy hit the top of the pinnacle. And this may be AEW's chance to have like their own Asian wrestler that can represent for the Far East. So I'm here for it if that's Takeshi's going to be that guy. And he can go, man. He's been putting on bangers. He's a candidate for a match of the year in our Booties. So I'm here for Takeshi.
I'm like conflicted, right? Like, I feel like Hobbs should have, if he was going to lose, there should have been some kind of interference from Don Callis. But also, I am here for just one guy being better than the other guy. Like, heel or babyface, whatever. Like, I'm a better wrestler than you, so I won the match. And I do like that. I don't know. I thought this would have been a good opportunity to get Hobbs up in, he won the TNT title once already, and then they shit the bed with that completely. Like, he beat Wardlow, and then a month later, like, Wardlow destroyed him, and he was gone. And so, I feel like if you weren't going to put the title on Hobbs, then why even put him in this match now?
I mean, give him a chance to get some reps in. I get it. I get what you're saying. I mean, especially what I think, because I'm a big Hobbs guy. So if you put him in that position, it could have been some nefarious type of wonky shit going on. Not overboard, but just one subtle Don Callis get on the apron and just a small distraction gets him off his game, and then you know Takeshi takes advantage of that. But like you said, sometimes you just have a straight up win, and I just hope that even with this loss, I just hope they have something for Hobbs to do. Because like we said, he would be good to be in the Hurt Syndicate. I just don't want him, going back to the sideline after taking this loss.
Agreed. Um, Next matchup to talk about, the TBS Championship match. Chris Statlander takes on Mercedes Moné. And I just want to state the obvious. I won't say the world, but in North America, there's not a better women's wrestler walking the planet than Mercedes Moné.
She put y'all haters on notice. I said this maybe when we previewed the second half of this year. Who's been a better bell-to-bell person than Mercedes Moné? Another masterclass. And shout out to Chris Statlander as well. We can't take away from, you have to have a dance partner. But it's Mercedes, week in and week out, she's been putting these masterclasses on the ring. Like you said, she did with Anna Jay. Feel like that's a little bit underrated. And again, at World's End, they put on the banger, man. That was probably one of the matches of the night. I mean, one of the Will Ospreay matches, of course, but they're right there neck and neck with it.
I mean, what you just said then, to be considered for one of the matches of the night when one of the matches was Ospreay versus Okada. Like, you know how good you got to be to be considered when Ospreay and Okada wrestle? And then you had Ricochet and Okada and Ospreay and Fletcher. Like, these are really good fucking matches. And when you got two women in there like Statlander and Mercedes just going at it. And that fucking victory roll she did, whatever you want to call it, like I don't even know if there's a name for it. Just inventing ways to pin people. Okay, I can't hit you with my finishing move. I'm going to tie your motherfucking ass up and you're not going to be able to kick out. And that's how I'm going to win. And didn't have to cheat, which I love. Like we just talked about with Takeshita and Will Hobbs. Sometimes the other wrestlers just better.
Yeah, and we predicted we both picked Mercedes, and I was kind of like on the fence because I'm like, Tony Khan just might be a knee-jerk reaction just to get it on Chris, but I'm glad he stood on business because I don't think Chris should have been the person to take it off Mercedes, and like we both said, it should be like an Anna Jay to take it off her sometime first quarter, second quarter next year. So I'm here for it.
Other ladies match, you had Mariah May defeating Street Fight?
Yeah, Tijuana Street Fight.
I've been to Tijuana. I've seen some street fights in Tijuana. That shit is rough, EJ. You know, when I was younger, I used to live in a town called Chula Vista, California. It was about 10, 15 miles south of San Diego. And we would walk about 8 minutes south, go through the little turnstiles, and we'd be in Tijuana. And as a child, I saw some shit that I probably shouldn't have saw back then. Whenever I went to Tijuana, I came away with that little candy, the little fucking lollipops with the tahini on it. Love that shit, but boy, a Tijuana street fight ain't nothing to be playing with. And these women, they brought it.
Oh yeah, it was a really good match too. Like, if it wasn't for the other women's match, we'd probably be talking about this. But it's a gimmick match, so it wasn't pure graps, so the kids would say. But it was still a really, really good match. And
right,
Thunder Rosa, she's just a solid worker. Like, if it wasn't for her injuries, who knows where she'd be right now. But Mariah May still chugging along, and I'm still waiting for her to have that one this story outside of Tony Storm that takes her to the next level, man. But I don't know if we'll see that before her and Tony Storm get back into it because what the Australia show that's February, so probably soon we'll probably see their paths cross again.
Yeah, I think Thunder is very underutilized, but I think AEW is also getting to the point now where they just got so many good women's wrestlers that like there are going to be people left by the wayside, and you're gonna have to fucking fight because for whatever reason the women's division, the men division don't get the same amount of time. You got a bunch of really good women's wrestlers, but for whatever reason they only have 1, 2, maybe 3 segments a show for you to get your shit in. Especially now that Rampage is gone. So it's gonna be more difficult for the women wrestlers to show what they got. And I think Thunder showed on Saturday, like, don't you motherfuckers forget about me. Like, I can still do this shit. And so I was glad she finally got her title match after having to relinquish the title and all that bullshit with her and Britt Baker. I didn't think she would win the match just because Mariah kind of, there's clearly going to be a showdown with her and Tony Storm. But this was still a really good match. There were points in it where I was like, oh shit. Are they gonna put the belt on Thunder Rosa?
Yeah.
Which is kudos to AEW and whoever made the match and the 2 women that were wrestling. Like that's what their job is, to make me fucking say, "Hey, smart wrestling fan, you don't know shit. We're about to put the belt on Thunder Rosa."
Yeah. That's how you captivate people, like keep them guessing. Like you said, it was a couple times in that match. I'm like, oh, they might pull the trigger, but that's what you do when you book the match. Get people entertained by the match.
Real quick, we need to go back to the finals of the Continental Classic. I can't believe we skipped past this. Mm-hmm. At the end, when they're presenting Okada with the Continental Classic, it's almost like they were listening to Boots to the Face last week, EJ.
Oh, that's why it happened. They were listening to our little old podcast. That's why it happened.
They heard Rucker losing his shit last week about Kenny Omega showing up in New Japan before he shows up in AEW. The best bout machine is, I'm not the biggest Omega fan, but he is a big fucking deal. And when he came out, I was like, ooh. Yeah. Now, I expected him to come back and go after Moxley, but looking back, it was Okada, the Bucks, and Jack Perry that fucking attacked him and put him out while he's suffering through diverticulitis. So I guess he does have revenge on the brain, but I was really expecting him to come back and go after Moxley.
Yeah, I don't. If people talking storyline wise, that makes perfect sense. I'm going after the Elite and Okada, so I'm here for it. And yeah, like you said, Coney must have been hearing the whisperings, even if he wasn't listening to our show in particularly.
No,
but
he was listening.
there we go. Yeah, shout us out, Tony. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out because a lot of people have been clamoring for it to be Okada and Omega at All In. I don't know how you could stretch it out that long, though.
Yeah, that's a long, but the All In graphic came up right after that, so I think that might be what the plan is.
How could you stretch it out to June?
You have him go through Nick Jackson, you have him go through Matt Jackson, you have him go through Jack Perry, all to get to Okada.
Car wash. The MJF car wash.
Right. I mean, he don't have to put him through a gauntlet, but just like, he tries to get to Okada and Nick Jackson fucks with him. So he's like, all right, me and you at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, and you could probably throw in some tag team matches, maybe a little bit of Golden Lovers in there.
Ibushi's coming too?
I mean, he's been signed apparently for like the past year, so maybe he's been waiting for Kenny to come back. But, that's a way to stretch it out some.
Yeah, I guess they
If you're
could
gonna
jump
go that
him, and
route.
then you could have Ibushi come back and help him, and that would that would make pretty big pop. We'll see. Um, man, I tell you what, I'm getting more excited about this Collision show I'm going to in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and from what they're promoting, like, we didn't know about Max for sure. They're gonna be on Max, streaming on Collision on Max as well. So you're gonna be all over the world when you're in the crowd. So
Well,
make
you
sure
see
you
your
wear
boy
your
in the
best
front
right
row
there.
because I got front row tickets. So, call me front row rucker with AEW. With WWE, it's more like at home rucker because I can't afford that shit. Um, one thing though is here in Atlanta in the next like 10 days they're expecting like 12 inches of snow. So
Ooh, in Atlanta?
yeah. So
That's crazy.
I don't even know if the roads will be able for me to get to Athens. That would suck.
Yeah. One thing I'll give the Midwest because they're used to it. When it snows, they do a great job of paving those roads like pretty much right away. So I'll give them that. And they salt them and they pave them, but not down south. They ain't used to that shit.
That was the thing about when I was in Colorado and I was driving through those mountains and it was snow everywhere. I was like scared to go because I thought, well, in Atlanta, I'd spin out and roll down this goddamn mountain right now. But we wasn't in Atlanta. We was in Colorado where they probably prepped that shit for weeks before that.
Yeah.
What other matches were there? There was
Uh, a chapter. I, I think the match was pretty solid, but I'm glad it's over. MJF and Adam Cole.
yeah, I don't care about that.
But it was just a weird way to end it. They just ended it with like United. I mean, Undisputed Empire / Kingdom reunion. It was weird because they're. It's like when you think of it, you think of like a heel faction, and they were just all buddy buddy. It's weird.
And MJF still won.
Yeah, he won and then he got his ass kicked. Like, I don't know if anybody looked good after that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like, all right, Adam, you got to take the loss, but you can beat him up after. He's like, okay.
I don't know. Just blow that whole shit up, man. I don't know.
Main event time, you had the World Heavyweight Champion John Moxley. We don't even know what the belt looks like anymore. When's the last time you seen the AEW belt?
Last time you saw it, they put it in it wasn't even in a briefcase. They put it in like in a bag when he won it from Wrestle Dream from Bryan Danielson.
Am I the only one that thinks that that briefcase is too goddamn little for a world title to be in it?
Yeah, I think it's a swerve. I don't even think the title's in there.
John Moxley gets the win over Jay White, Hangman Adam Page, and Orange Cassidy, which was just a shit show of a match. But honestly, I was kind of here for it. Like, just give me all the bullshit
Yeah.
right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, we've been watching really good matches all night long. It's getting late. Like, I ain't really got time to sit here and wait on a couple wrist locks and arm drag takeovers until you get just throw all the shit at me immediately, and they did.
Yeah, wasn't my cup of tea. I don't think the match was that good. But like you said, sometimes you just need a shit show to end the night, and fans were probably tired at that point. So it wasn't like a completely awful, but it wasn't that good. And I guess it built it up to Moxley winning, and then what happened afterwards?
What happened afterwards was FTR coming out and confronting the Death Riders, and then bringing out Edge.
Yeah, Adam Copeland.
I gotta admit, EJ, I kind of didn't give a fuck.
I thought you were gonna say I kind of liked it.
No, I really didn't give a fuck. It was just Edge.
Besmirched the good name of Adam Copeland.
Moxley's gonna beat his ass.
Yeah, I was very. I'm, because I try to be positive. I try to look at give it time to breathe because The basement dwellers like to shit on things immediately, but I just don't really see a direction for this Death Rider story because I thought this would be like some type of big turning point of where they go. And Adam Copeland's cool, fans were into it. Like if the fans are into it, I guess it's not that bad. But he's not gonna win, and like the rumors, of course, where it's some type of puppets pulling the strings of Death Riders, and rumors were a Shane McMahon. It doesn't even have to be a Shane McMahon, but if there was some type of person pulling the strings, because that's what Moxley was at the beginning of it. He was talking in these coded languages, and basically like it wasn't him doing it, like it was somebody else doing it. And I feel like if that doesn't happen, it's gonna be kind of a dud of a whole storyline. But right now, I'm not really into it as much as I have, man. But it doesn't take much to turn it around. So I just hope they have like a direction for their story to go into. Because, like you said, like we don't believe that Adam Copeland is gonna be beating you for the title. So that's where I'm at with it.
I was hoping we were going towards Jay White versus Moxley 1-on-1, but it looks like they're just leaving Darby, Hangman, and Jay White, dropping them off at the fucking fire department with a note on them, and they're going straight towards Edge and FTR versus. But still, there's only 3 of them. Like, isn't there? Yeah, there's 4 guys in the Death Riders.
Yeah, and like that's a little bit weird too because they have a bunch of titles. I mean, they're the trios champions and the world champions, so that's 3. I mean, if you want to go that route, you could have rated FTR take the trios titles from them, but then, like you said, it's still the world champion. Maybe they're propping, like you said, Darby to take it. I think Revolution might be a little early. I was saying like either you could stretch it out to All In or Double or Nothing at the very earliest. I mean, how long was the between Hogan and Sting winning from Starcade? A year and a half, and then you had a little small week long Luger interruption, which was weird. But if you want to, you can stretch it out.
Yeah, but Darby ain't Sting.
Well, of course not, but at least he's Sting's protege.
They threw Darby's ass down the steps. They never do that shit to Stinger. They kicked Darby down. What was that, Rampage or Collision? They beat his ass up backstage and kicked him down the steps.
It was the last Rampage episode.
I'm not gonna lie. When they did that shit, I laughed out loud so fucking hard. I don't know why that shit was so funny to me, but Darby got to calm down, man. Letting these people do this shit to him. Those concrete steps.
It's getting a little bit too ridiculous. I'm not a professional, so like if you could work safely, then I'm here for it. But like, there's no way. How safely can you fall down a flight of steps
in one take? When you got a motherfucker like Moxley kicking you down the steps. But hey, he got to the bottom of it without breaking anything and just laid there.
From what we know, who knows what kind of little ailments he has here and there, but yeah, that kid.
He's a skateboarder, man. They're used to falling down steps all the time. Handrails, swimming pools that are empty. Like, he's a skateboarder, man. Tough motherfucker. You ever watch some skateboarding videos? Not Darby, but just like skateboarding. What do you call it?
I've seen some gnarly ones where bones sticking through skin, but
ooh,
I mean, yeah, but you don't have to be safe, man. You getting paid all that money. You don't have to do that shit. These skateboarders are not making much. A lot of them, the lower level ones. Not everybody's Tony Hawk. Calm your little ass down.
Right. That's why the Miz been wrestling 20 years. They never been injured.
I know. But yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get a match made on later on this week is gonna be the first like simulcast show. So we'll see Adam Copeland. They're gonna be back in North Carolina, so I do like that. The Fight for the Fallen. They're raising money for that whole area that was devastated by the hurricane. So shout out to them for that. But I don't know. It's predictable. We know this little stopgap in the program is not gonna be people that dethrone the Death Riders, but it might be us nitpicking because what we could say the same thing back in AJ Styles post WrestleMania. Like we know he wasn't gonna beat Cody, so maybe we just being a little bit impatient.
Would have been cool if he would have though.
I know, right? But you know it wasn't happening.
Um, let's get the street clothes wrestler of the week, EJ, and then we'll get to the booties.
Yeah, I went first last week, but I still go first this week because I don't want you to steal mine.
I know who you're
I'm
gonna
going
pick.
with I'm going with Chelsea. You know I'm going with
You
Chelsea Green,
motherfucker.
United States champion, dressed as Lady Liberty. Even though she's Canadian,
Red, white, and
in the
green.
green dress. Yeah, red, white, and green with the what is that? Like a tiara that Lady Liberty wearing with the crown?
I don't know what the fuck you would call it.
Yeah, I'm not a thirsty individual, but goddamn you, Matt Cardona.
I am.
I hate you. I hate you, Cardona.
Chelsea's really good looking, right? Like, I don't know how I missed. Like, I never thought she wasn't good looking, but like, I don't know what's happened the past like 4 or 5 months. Every time I see her, I'm like, damn, Chelsea's hot, and she leans into it. She'll tell you, I'm a hot WWE diva.
Yeah, she like fuck the PC talk. I'm a diva. So
I like that shit. That's funny. Chelsea was gonna be my pick, and I figured that was gonna be yours. So I went a different direction, and I picked somebody else that makes people thirsty from NXT. One Gigi Dolan.
yeah, Gigi Dolan, Tatum Paxley, and what's the girl with the green hair with the tank?
Shotzi.
Shotzi Blackheart. They got a little faction. I'm a stickler. Like, give them a name. Like, make them an official faction because that worked. They all like got the goth, weird, crazy chick thing going on. Give them
Yeah,
an official name.
Nothing like a goth girl.
So yeah, I can't remember what was Gigi having.
Damn near nothing. I'm not gonna. I don't remember exactly what she's wearing. I just remember thinking, "Damn, she looks good tonight." Like I kept saying that every time they put her on TV. But it was the three of them. Then you had Caden Carter and Katana Chance out there, and then you had Fatal Influence with Fallon Henley was gonna be my pick originally, and then Gigi Dolan walked out there, and I was like, "Shit." And then what's Jasmine Nix?
Yeah, Fatal Influence.
Yeah, she was wrestling, but if she's in street clothes, she's definitely a candidate for street clothes wrestler of the week every week. That's your girl.
Yeah.
Don't you like Jasmine Nix? No. You like not like, but like you're a fan of Santino's daughter. What's her name?
Oh yeah, Ariana Grace. What happened to her?
I don't know. She had that thing going on with Gigi Dolan, and Gigi got hurt, and then Ariana Grace kind of disappeared.
That was my girl. And she was on TNA for a little bit, popping up as like the ambassador, but she kind of disappeared. Jordan Jasmine Nix. I was like she did catch my eye when she first got on the scene, but now she's just kind of like a background player. So
yeah,
she's cool. But my little mini rant is like NXT Women's Division. They're so deep. Every week, you even see like them in the locker room with like I can't even keep track of all the names of their women because it's like they got several blondes. Why did they unify their tag team championships with the WWE women? Like
they weren't this deep when they did that though.
Well, they need to ununify them. This is the perfect opportunity to bring them back. They need an NXT Women's Championship again. They're so deep. I mean, give some of the girls that like pop up every 1 or 3 weeks or so, they give them a chance to get a little bit more TV time. So bring back those NXT Women's Championships.
I will say that NXT does a really good job of when they do those backstage things, they always put the women's names up when they start talking to kind of get you to pay attention to who they are and what they're like. If somebody catches your eye, their name is right there on the screen, which I think is really good.
And one thing, like, cause literally I mixed them up because I'm was I watching Level Up? Maybe it was NXT or Level Up. It was literally, I think they were both blondes. They had the same last names, and I like mixed them up. I'm like, y'all got this? Why you have the same last names? But they have different first names. Like I can't. I'll come back next week when I can figure it out. But I'm like, I thought these were the same two women. So they're deep.
Yeah, NXT's women's division is crazy.
Yeah. So
Well, EJ, let's do this. Let's get to the booties.
yes, this is my second year doing the booties. I know I did it early on in the show. I don't know what officially
We'll
annual
call it
year.
the fourth annual Boot to the Face Award, End of the Year Awards. The booties.
So I'll start off from the bottom and make our way to the top. So shout out to everybody that voted.
Yeah,
We
we
had a pretty
appreciate
solid
that.
turnout for voting. So we'll keep
Especially
doing
for
these.
less than a week.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody that did vote. And these are, they were nominated by us and voted on by listeners and people on social media. And these are what the winners are. Like, there's no cooking the books over here. This is who people voted for. I don't agree with all of them, but
I don't agree with all of them. But, we'll get into that. But surprise moment of the year. And our nominees were Brock returning for WrestleMania season, Jordan Grace, surprise Rumble entrant, Sting retiring as a tag team champion, and Undertaker popping out at the main event at WrestleMania 40.
Taker says
So,
sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
I know, right?
He
And the
probably
winner,
used the hard R though.
he would. He's that type of guy. But yeah, with 46.2%, the winner of this category is one of Rucker's all-time favorites, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, returning for WrestleMania season.
What a great surprise that was. I remember watching it, and I made a TikTok about it. It was one of my most viewed TikToks.
Oh, yeah?
Not that I have a lot of TikToks out there, but it was definitely one of my most viewed ones.
Yeah, I mean, it was a moment in time. I feel like it came and went, though. Like,
yeah, because all the Cody crybabies.
yeah, that whole situation. But, I mean, I feel like I appreciated the moment because I was at WrestleMania and saw him in person again. But I saw him wrestle in the Attitude Era, too, so I was blessed to see both eras of the Rock as far as that goes, bookend. But, yeah, I mean, time sits still for no man, but, it was good having him back for, 2-3 months or so, how long ever he was back. And
man, those fucking Twitter promos were something that'll never be done again.
yeah.
That shit was so
Yeah.
good.
And I guess it's kind of up in the air for what he does this WrestleMania season, but maybe we see a repeat of that.
I loved Cody's response to the Twitter promos too. He said, like, 22 minutes? I'm not watching all that. I'm either really happy for you or I'm sorry for your loss, but I hope you get better.
That's hilarious. I didn't know he said that.
Yeah. He said, I'm not watching all that. I watched it a few times and it was fucking hilarious. But shout out to The Rock. He wins surprise moment of the year, returning for WrestleMania season. The final boss. Loved it.
Before we move on, though, but what about our guy Sting, though, retiring with the tag team belts? I feel like that was a perfect way to wrap up a legendary career.
I don't think that was so much a surprise moment, though. We were there, EJ, and I feel like we all kind of had the feeling he was going to win. Now, throughout the match, you're like, I don't know. But going into it, I was kind of like, ain't no way Sting's losing.
I'm the opposite. I thought he was going to, do the honorable thing, legends, go on their back of the way out. So
fuck that. This is Sting.
I mean, of course, you had, the confidence, but a lot of people thought he was gonna lose. I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a different breed because I'm a little stinger that's a big stinger now. And so I, mean,
Yeah.
I got a fucking tattoo of the guy's logo on my arm. Like I was like, ain't no fucking if Sting loses, Young Bucks might need security tonight. I was
Might be
just
right
drunk
about
enough
that.
to hop the rail. Luckily, I didn't have to.
Yeah, but shout out to Sting. Let's move on to the next category. So this kind of involved. This was like Brett's promo, but it's kind of hard to single, get it down to one promo. So I just said, who's the best on the mic for this year? And we do Sting in there, but he had a specific promo. What was the Sting promo that you referred to? It was the one where he was
The one
going
after
off on the
they
buck.
jumped his sons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. But I just got it down to just a general who's the best on the mic this year. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, The Rock, Sting, and Tony Storm. And this wasn't even close. Another one of Rucker's guys, Mr. Phil Brooks, takes this one with
Whoa.
41.17.
Punk won?
Yeah, Punk won.
I thought Drew McIntyre was in the lead the last time I looked at it.
Nah, Punk's got the majority of the votes.
Punk's not even good.
Hey, man, it's a subjective list. Hey, so
Okay.
I'm gonna say, what are your thoughts?
We can go
You
to the
kind of
next
gave us your thoughts
category.
on this. You don't think CM Punk was showing out on the mic?
No, I think it was trash.
I think
Well,
he
it's
was
a great
solid
day
on
to
the
be
mic.
alive in Atlanta. No, it's not. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, it's no worse than what Mick Foley used to do on the mic.
Yeah, Mick Foley never had to go against Drew McIntyre. There's no way Drew McIntyre did. Drew smoked Punk every time they were in the ring together.
It's your opinion. You're entitled to that.
Punk wasn't even there for half the time, and Drew kept that fucking thing alive by himself.
Hey, man, I didn't vote for this, so you go take it up for people that listen to the show.
Tony Storm was way better than fucking CM Punk. Chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. That's way better than it's a great day to be alive in Greensboro.
Hey, man, we could go into a deep dive on sexism in this country. She got the least amount of votes, so I don't know what to say
Wrestling
about
fans
that.
don't like women. I've come to
I think you're right.
Wrestling fans don't like women.
It's unfortunate, but we don't want to. We could talk about that for another hour, but let's go on to the next category. Card of the year. We had WrestleMania 40, Revolution. We were at Revolution, All In. That was over there, over the pond. SummerSlam and Money in the Bank, and I think this might be the biggest landslide, out of all the categories, with 84.6%.
Damn.
WrestleMania 40, and I think if we do this again next year, I'm gonna split it up between night 1 and night 2. Have you people out there, actually have to think about it, because they had 2 nights, so that's kind of a little bit.
Yeah, because I feel like WrestleMania Night 1 was better this year.
Yeah, so I think that's how we move forward.
They
Night
got
1 and night 2.
84%.
Yeah,
I thought
WrestleMania.
this is where AEW, not that they're booking for Boot to the Face Awards, but this is where they kind of get the shaft because they have so many really good pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
And like I thought, again, we were there. It was the emotion of Sting's last match. I thought Revolution was the best pay-per-view this year. You had Kyle Fletcher versus Ospreay. Wasn't that Ospreay's first pay-per-view match, like as a full-time AEW guy?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Takeshita versus Ospreay. You had the Sting main event, which was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
You had
Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo.
You had the big men slapping meat match.
Yeah.
Even though Jericho was in it.
Yeah, I mean, I could give, I guess, probably the most unbiased perspective because I went to both nights of WrestleMania and I went to All In, and
Revolution.
my personal, my bad, Revolution. My personally, I would have to probably go with Revolution. Is like, night one of WrestleMania 2 was really fucking fun. Like,
Yeah.
for some reason, I was miserable on night two, maybe because it was cold. My seats were a little bit higher. But yeah, Revolution was a fucking good time. So I might
Then
be,
we went
I
out
don't know.
after, which we're gonna
Yeah.
do for WrestleMania this year.
Yeah. Oh, Vegas, of course. But yeah, I mean, but we gotta go with the fans said, and they picked WrestleMania 40. So,
Damn.
like I said,
WrestleMania's gonna be over at like 9 o'clock local time in Vegas, EJ.
yeah,
There's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
all kind of
early.
debauchery going on after WrestleMania.
Yeah, gotta love a West Coast WrestleMania.
Oh
But
my god.
oh,
I'm gonna introduce a bunch of wrestling fans to the green door when we go out
now
there.
that's, that's another story for a different type of podcast. But let's move on to the
Boot
next
to the
category, man.
ace.
Yeah, exactly. Feud of the year. The candidates for this were Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page,
Mm.
Mariah May versus Timeless Tony Storm, and the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline.
If I had to pick,
This is close. Yeah.
I think I would go with Hangman versus Swerve was a. Some of those other ones are like beefs. That was a feud. Like these niggas hated each other.
Yeah, I probably would go with that, but a lot, maybe because it kind of blended in. A lot of their feud happened last year, even though you know, a big peak of it was the burn down the house was this year. So, you know, I'm not mad at that one because that one didn't win, but that was a good one. That shit got really heated, but I'm not mad at the winner. I probably would go with the winner, which is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with 50% of the votes.
Oh my god! I run a fucking podcast and have awards, and CM Punk has won 2 out of the first 4 awards. It's fucking disgusting.
Man, I'd like to get Marty's take on this. He's rolling over in his grave right now. Yeah,
Ugh.
CM Punk. But come on, objectively, that was a very good. Like you said, he wasn't even around for it, and they still were able to carry the fuse for most of
which
the
is
year.
which is what makes it even more disgusting that people picked him as the best on the mic when McIntyre carried the fucking feud while he was gone.
Hey, you got a lot of CM Punk stands. What can you say?
Fucking dorks.
Hey, that's our listeners, man. Come
I don't
on.
give a fuck. They're dorks.
All right.
CM Punk.
Hey,
Ugh.
the views of Chris Rucker are not the views of Boot to the Face.
Clearly.
Get that out there.
They definitely need the views of the voters.
Let's move on to match of the year, Chris. Candidates for this one: Sting and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks at Revolution.
Mm.
Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson at Dynasty.
Mm.
I was in the bill for that one. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania XL 40. Will Ospreay versus Kenosuke Takeshita at Revolution. Bryan Danielson, Swerve Strickland. That was at All In. Mercedes
Damn,
Moné
EJ,
versus
you were at 4 of the first 5 of those.
Yeah, man. Dynasty was right down the road in St. Louis. It was a good time, man. Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander at Full Gear. And CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Bad Blood. I do not agree with this winner, but if you had to pick, who would be your winner in this one?
I'm biased. I would have went Sting and Darby and the Bucks.
I mean, not to say that, because, he's a Mark, what's the guy, Wrestle Observer, Dave Meltzer. This is his second most ranked match ever. 6.5, it's Okada, Omega is the highest rated match, 7, but this was the second highest rated match of all time. I would have went with that one. I mean, maybe because I'm biased because I was there in St. Louis with Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, so that would be my match of the year. That was fucking insane. I mean, different strokes for different folks. Both of us picked different matches, but the winner of this was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40, with 56.2% of the
That match
votes.
was shit.
I we both agree on that. I don't think this
It
was the
wasn't
match of the
even
year.
half as good as their match last year.
I was it's funny you said that because I was on the IPT TV and I was clicking over and that they were replaying the WrestleMania 39 match and that was a really good match. I
It
feel like that, like you
was.
said, that was a better match than the one that was this year.
This year had so much bullshit and all the run-ins, and it's a bloodline rules match, but they fought one-on-one for like 25 minutes. So the whole time you're just like, all right, when's somebody gonna come fucking interfere? Like, what was even the... Why wouldn't the bloodline just come jump the motherfucker at the beginning?
That would make the most sense. If I would went with any of the WWE matches, it would have been the Punk and McIntyre Bad Blood. Hell, that's a really good match, especially for a gimmick match. But yeah, like you said, why wouldn't they come in, interfere for the whole time? Didn't really make sense. But
Samantha
like I
Irvin would
said,
have been like, from Pensacola, Florida, Roman Reigns and the entire Anoa'i family.
yeah.
And as soon as they rang the bell, we'd have jumped his ass. That match would have lasted 3 minutes. Undertaker wouldn't even have made it to the fucking ring.
I know wrestling logic for you though, but once again, the listeners have spoken and they picked that match. So, hey, powers with the people. We don't agree, but that's why we let y'all vote. And I guess we know what kind of wrestling our listeners like. So, I guess we can't knock it. Let's move on, no Rucker. Breakout star of the year. This was the closest one. Like, it's almost split down like between the 6 people that we broke down each one of us voted for 3, and it's almost split down the middle. So let's go through these ones. Breakout star of the year, we had Bronson Reed, and it goes to show you like Triple H has his favorites, and he latched on to Bronson Reed because like he was just middling around in the lower mid card, and they heated him up really quickly, taking out Seth Rollins.
What
So
an untimely injury.
yeah, that's 2. But Bronson Reed, Kyle Fletcher, he showed out, beat Will Ospreay, had a good showing in the Continental Classic. Ryan May, your AEW Women's Champion, kind of had her rise to the top this year. Your boy Trick Williams whooped that Trick, NXT Champion. Tiffany Stratton, Money in the Bank holder right now, and then your Tribal Chief Solo Sikoa rounded out.
Not my tribal chief.
He's my Tribal Chief. He's got the Ulafala, so
I don't acknowledge Solo Sikoa. He's like...
put your ones up in the air. Tribal Chief.
That's blasphemy.
I didn't say he was the original Tribal Chief, but he took the crown. So
he didn't even like do anything to win. He just literally took it.
that's what you do. That's what you do. You take it.
He just the shit was laying around in the locker room. He just picked it up and put it on. It was like, I'm that nigga. No, you're not.
You say sometimes you gotta pop out. Oh man, yeah. Like I said, this was close, but the winner with 23.1% of the
That's
votes.
the lowest percentage of a winner.
Yeah. Tiffany Stratton, your girl Tiffany Stratton.
Oh wow, it's Tiffy time.
It's Tiffy time.
Nice. Toodles.
When does she finally cash in though?
Shit, I thought she was gonna do it this past week.
Nah, I'm not doing a random SmackDown.
Why
it's
not?
gonna be a PLE.
And that right
I
there
think
is
they're
why
gonna
she
do it on
should do
PLE.
it on a random SmackDown, EJ. SmackDown goes to 3 hours this Friday.
They'll do it if it's like you said, if it's like if they're promoting like a title match or like this is our first 3-hour show or something like that. But I don't think they're gonna do it on one where it's in a random tag team match and she's just chilling.
Is today Monday?
It is.
Oh damn, Raw's on.
Yep. She ain't doing it on there. That'd be a biggest surprise if you just cast in on Liv. That's talk about surprise.
Hey,
for
leave
you.
my girl Liv out of this. She's like Athena. She's the forever champion.
Okay. I don't agree, but to each his own. With
I
provolone.
need Liv on my TV every Monday night.
Let's move on to the next one though. In ring performer of the year. Another one I don't agree with the results, but we give the power to the people. Yeah, Will Ospreay, Brian Danielson, Gunther, Mercedes Monet, and like you said, the forever champion Athena.
It's a good category.
Out of your choices, who you like out of those ones?
I have to pick the ring general.
Well, you will be right because he won it with 42.3%, and I did not agree with that. I feel like last year he had a better year. I feel like he hasn't even been wrestling that much this year, but the
Yeah,
people have
but he
spoken.
still has this like I was talking about with Mercedes earlier. Like I can't hit my finishing move on you, so I'm gonna just tie you up. Gunther's like, I don't have a finishing move. I'm just gonna like when I smell blood in the water, I'm just gonna hit like 7 moves in a row, and you're not gonna kick out. It doesn't have to be a finishing move. I'm gonna hit you with a fucking bulldog, a boot to the face, a big splash off the top rope, pick you up and clothesline you. Then I'm gonna pick you up again and power bomb you, and you're not gonna kick out.
Yeah, I'm with you, but as far as like matches that just I think about this particular calendar year, maybe the one with him and Sammy is the one that sticks out in my head. Like I can't really pinpoint like last year. Last year he was just putting on slapper after slapper after
He
slapper.
had a good match with Sammy at WrestleMania, even though Sammy won, so that kind of took it down a little bit. His match with he had 2 matches with Jey Uso this year that were really good that he won. When he won the world title, that was a good match. When he defended it again against Priest and Finn Balor just recently, that was a really good match. Like he's had some bangers this year.
I still Osprey would be my personal in ring guy of the year, but
He
I
had
feel like he
matches
could
so
win it
good
every year.
against Chad Gable that Chad Gable turned heel after. That whole thing was this year with Chad Gable.
Because could swear that some of those were last year too with him and Gable.
That's going into WrestleMania season.
Because I feel like Gable was still a face at that point. A
Yeah,
lot of those matches.
that was going into WrestleMania season.
Mm. And I know for sure one was last year because I remember that was like around October Halloween season, but it might have been another one that happened early this year too. But different strokes for different folks. Like Gunther, he's a machine in the ring, but
Really
from
is.
my particular liking, I would have picked Osprey, but like we said, we give the power to vote to the people. So shout out to Gunther for getting the in ring performer of the year. He might have won it last year too, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look at the results, but let's move on. Tag team of the year was a as far as tag team wrestling. I feel like both companies are like kind of
It's an off year.
Yeah, a little off
Yeah,
year for tag team wrestling.
It was hard coming up with nominations for this one.
Yeah, so we got it done though. We scraped and scrapped and got a list done. So we had our boys the Austin Bay Connection, ABC. Shout out to Chris Bay. Hopefully he gets well soon from his injury. Motor City Machine Guns. They had a stint in both companies. I think they were world champions in the other company and being a tag team for the first half of the year. And X Division champion. Awesome Truth, Miz and
Weren't they
R-Truth.
world champion and X Division champion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was first half of going into last year.
Yeah, not Chris Sabin. What's the other one?
Chris, man, now you make me have a brain fart.
Whatever.
Chris Sabin.
He was the world champion.
Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley was the world champion going into last year, and he lost it to Moose. And then Chris Sabin is the X Division champion. Awesome Truth candidate, Jade and Bianca. Now Jade is not the champion. You got our girl Trinity, Naomi.
Your girl, I think she did that shit.
She probably did. Private Party, your current AEW champions, and your current NXT champions, Fraxium. And then drum roll, we have a tie.
Get the fuck out of here.
This might be the first time.
Then we got to tie break it.
How we gonna tie break it?
Easy. We decide of the two that got picked who we think should
What
be
if
the
we
champion.
don't agree? What if we don't agree though?
That's why we're gonna talk it out.
I don't know. We'll try it, but it might end up still being a tie. We have with 30.8%. You got Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium.
I'm going Fraxium.
And I'm going Motor City Machine. So like,
Come
how
on,
does that
EJ.
work?
You're just being an asshole. You did it on purpose.
No, I don't
What
know,
did Motor
man.
City Machine Guns do this year?
Tag team champions, and I want to say they did have the TNA championships too recently.
That's not a tag team award, though.
No, I'm saying I think they were the TNA tag team champions. Maybe it was last year that they had them too. Cause I want to say they had like all four. They both were 2 title straps up, but I don't know. I'm maybe a little biased. Like I'm not a big Fraxium fan. I don't know.
Whatever. We can pick Motor City Machine Guns. I don't care.
No. I'll go with Fraxium just because they've been more consistent.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could have had co-champions. Why can't we make the rules of it being co-champions?
Because if we don't do that, everybody don't get a trophy around this.
They had Jason Kidd and
Nah.
co-rookie
Fraxium's better. Every time I think
Jason
they're gonna
Kidd
lose,
co-rookie of the year.
they start arguing and they get to fighting backstage, and I'm like, all right, this is it. Fraxium's gonna lose the belt. What, the motherfucker? What's the one with the mask on?
Axiom.
Yeah, he had a world title match earlier in the night, got his ass kicked, and then they came back and defended the tag team titles and still fucking won. Like, that's tag team of the year.
Yeah, well, I'll give them the nod. Fraxium. Give them the tiebreaker for tag team of the year.
I just realized Nathan Frazier and Fraxium. I'm so
yeah.
stupid.
It's a stupid ass name. I don't like it.
I'm a stupid ass wrestling fan. I had no idea that's what that was for.
Yeah. We're getting down to the final categories, Rucker. Kick it off with Female Wrestler of the Year.
Jada Parker.
And the nominees, what's that?
Jada Parker.
She wasn't a nominee.
Love the
She'll
Vice.
She'll be a future nominee if she keeps on her path. But
Red Velvet.
she's not a nominee either. But if she keeps on her path, she'll be there.
Santana Garrett.
Absolutely not. She's not a fan of the show. She won't come on and be a guest. She comes on as a guest.
She'll never win a booty.
Yeah.
Regardless of how nice hers is.
Hey, whoa. Yeah, that extra part on there. But the nominees this year are Jordan Grace, the Forever Champion Athena, Timeless Tony Storm, Liv Morgan, and Nia Jax. This one was tied at the beginning of the day, but we had some last minute votes. And where would you go if you had to predict?
Ooh. It would. I want to say Liv Morgan, but I would go with Athena.
Liv Morgan she barely lost, but it's not Athena win. And I'm good with this one. Thomas Tony Storm is the winner of this one.
Nice.
By the narrowest margin, edged out Liv Morgan. So shout out to Thomas Tony Storm. Very good on the mic, like you said, and showed out in the ring this year.
Yes, she did.
So she's our female wrestler of the year. Shout out to Thomas Tony. She's not now. She's hey, you're glowing again.
Had to give her that glow.
So shout out to her. She's now Rockstar Tony again. And that brings us to the final category of the night. Male Wrestler of the Year. Our candidates and
LA Knight.
nah, he's not in there. We had Swerve Strickland, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, John Moxley, and like Rucker talked about earlier, threw a Zack Saber Jr. in there, and some people, the listeners of the show, they weren't happy with us not giving a lot of shine to New Japan Wrestling.
Well, first off, Zack Sabre Jr. sucks.
I'm not going all on that.
So there's that. um, yeah, we don't watch a lot of New Japan anymore. Like, it's our nominations for stuff that we watch, and if the listeners watch other stuff, you're more than welcome to voice your opinion about it. But don't get hot, you know? Don't get all worked up. Don't work yourself into a shoot, brother, just because we don't watch New Japan. If Zack Sabre Jr. was so good, we would be watching New Japan. But guess what? He sucks. So we're not watching New Japan. Although I might go see it when I go over to Tokyo next year. They actually just announced the CMLL New Japan Pro Wrestling Tour, and it's running through Shibuya and Tokyo while I'm there. So I think we're gonna go to one of those shows at the at Karakin Hall, which it's not the Tokyo Dome, but that's pretty fucking historical.
Yeah, I'm not gonna jump out the window like Rucker just did. I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. sucks,
He's
but
trash.
I think he's pretty good in the ring.
Trash Sabre Jr.
As far as New Japan, I feel like it's just not as accessible for me. Like, I want to watch more New Japan, but I feel like they don't have like a weekly show for me to follow. They have the big shows. Like, of course, I watch.
He sucks too.
The big show. I see what you did there. You got the big show at the Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, I watch that every year. But as far as week to week, I do need to be better as far as following. But I feel like they're not as accessible. But you know, we are a wrestling podcast. We don't show favoritism. So
Yeah,
you know,
Trash Sabre Senior. That should be his name. 'Cause he's the first.
I'm gonna try to watch more New Japan this year, but so many hours of the year. We do have our day jobs. We try our best.
We can only do so much. You know, I got kids, EJ.
Yeah,
We both like women. You know, like, there's only so much we can do.
yeah.
Nobody got time to be up at 4 a.m. watching New Japan. Then on Access TV, it's like 7 months behind. I think the last time I watched that shit, Cody was still in there. Last time I watched it. That shit's so far behind. Nobody got time for that.
Like I said, yeah, that far behind. So, but they got this mega show coming up at the beginning of the year with AEW, CML, and New Japan. So we'll definitely, give our opinions on that. So stay tuned to that. But as far as male wrestler of the year, out of those candidates, like who would you choose?
I'm sure they chose Cody, but I'd go with Swerve.
Yeah, I'd go Swerve too. But Cody, he didn't pull ahead until later. That is the male wrestler of the year. Cody. It was Gunther was leading it for a while, so a lot of voters had a big heart on for Gunther this year. In-ring performer, and he was leading male of the year. But Cody has pulled away with 46.2% to Gunther's 38.5%. So male wrestler of the year is American Nightmare, Cody
Shout
Rhodes.
out to Georgia's own Cody Rhodes. Adrenaline.
Yeah.
That song came on my playlist when I was doing deadlifts the other day at the gym. And I just stood up.
Oh, yeah?
Whoa! And everybody looked at me.
Hey,
including my girlfriend. She just walked away like shaking her head. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. That when that shit hits you, it hits you. You can't. You ain't got no choice.
Yeah, I was thinking about random thoughts like Cody's a Georgia boy, but his brother's like a Texas boy. That's an interesting dynamic.
Dusty was a Rolling Stone.
I know. I mean, apparently.
Ain't no apparently about it. Nigga got around. Let's get to NFL picks, EJ. Last weekend and get the hell up out of here.
yeah, I'm so over this NFL weekend. I'm glad it's the last week that we're doing it for this season.
Yeah, it hasn't been fun.
uh, but I mean, as far as last week goes, we tied again. So I guess it's getting predictable for these NFL scores. We both went 11-4. That brings our overall to 180 and 86 for me and 150 and 105 for you. So even if you pick the complete opposites of me this week, there's no catching up. So you
You're
might
that
as
far
well
ahead. Like no matter what
you might as well
happens,
just yeah,
if
just
I
pick
go
like
undefeated and you go winless, you still win.
yeah. So you might as well
Tragic.
pick with your head this week.
I thought that's what I was
And
doing the whole season.
it's some teams that you clearly didn't like that you picked against almost every week. So unconscious. Some of them might have been unconscious. But this is week 18. You know how they do it. Division rivalries for this end of the week. When did that start being a thing? I feel
They
like it's
started maybe like 10 years ago.
yeah, I feel like it wasn't always a
Actually, it was
thing.
probably longer than that because if you remember, there was a time when the Cowboys finished 8-8, like 3 or 4 years in a row, and every year it came down to them. It was 3 years in a row. It literally came down to them versus the Eagles one year, the Giants one year, and the Redskins one year, and they lost all three of them and finished 8-8. And
Man,
that was like 2 years into it. So it's probably been like 15 years.
I remember specifically the one with the Eagles because this was like
44-6.
I was in college at
I
the
was
time, so this was
heartbroken.
like '06. It was like '06, '07. I remember going to my old high school gym because it was a holiday weekend. And I just remember Brian Dawkins being on the sideline chanting with the fans, being, yeah. I'm like, this shit made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Chanting EAGLS
I
with
thought Brian
Eagles.
Dawkins was one of the coolest looking football players on the field, and I fucking hated him, but he was so goddamn good.
Yes, I guess you're all right. It's been like 15 or so years. 'Cause I specifically remember that moment. This was like '06, '07, '08 or something running around that. But yeah, week 18, man. This weekend kind of went by. We say that every year, though. I think it's just us being old. Like everything goes by fast now.
No, man,
When you're
football season really does go by fast. I mean, there's 56 weeks in or 52 weeks in a year, and only 18 of them have football in them.
yeah, but once you include preseason and postseason, half of the year is football.
Maybe.
It is. I mean, not maybe. I counted it. But it goes by fast. I think.
But
Look at
like,
this. I
if you
think
think of the NBA or like NHL or baseball, like baseball, fucking Freddie Freeman just hit that home run like 2 weeks ago, and they already about to go back to spring training.
yeah, those seasons are longer. But
And that's the difference. Like NFL is, and I think that's why NFL is more popular too, because they get their shit in, they get off, they go home, and then you're just like,
yeah,
man, I want football season to come back. And then when it's hit, fantasy football makes it go by really fast too, because you're
yeah,
constantly fucking paying attention to all that. So yeah, NFL's definitely the season's too short, I think, but they also have car crashes like multiple times every week. So
yeah, it has to. It can't be longer. I mean, even though I think they're gonna make it longer, I think it's gonna go to 18 games soon. But
I mean, look at Dallas's whole fucking team right now. Like everybody's on injured reserve. Uh, my fantasy football team, if I would have made it to the finals this year, I'd got smoked because Kenneth Walker, CeeDee Lamb, who else did I? I think I had two other guys, two other like top stars. Tony Pollard didn't play this week, and then Dak was my quarterback, and he was on the IR. So like, had I made it, 4 of my 9 players wouldn't even have been there. So it's just like there's a lot of injuries this year.
well, I was in second place for most of my season, and then, like you said, injuries just piled up for my other league that I was in, not the Carling, and that fucked me over in the first round. So football gods, sometimes they don't smile down on you, but It is what it is. But getting into this last week, uh, looks like this
Speed
is
round, EJ. Let's do this fast.
no Thursday night games this week. It's all gonna be Saturday and Sunday to end the football. So we got Browns and Ravens kicking it off.
Browns.
I would go. I think the Ravens are like they can't go any higher no matter what, right?
Yeah, they can't go higher or lower. I think they're locked in.
I'll
Man,
go with
they're
Browns.
sitting everybody.
I can't go with a good conscience regarding the Browns. I'm going Ravens. Bengals at Steelers. Give me Cincinnati.
Bengals got to win and have a shot.
Who you got?
Steelers.
Commanders at Cowboys. Will this is this reposition because they're locked in the playoffs? Will this reposition like who they face, win or loss? Commanders.
No, the Commanders can't win the division, and they're locked in at number 7 because you
No,
still
the Green Bay is at number 7 right now.
are they? They're worse than the
Yeah.
Commanders.
Yeah, I looked at it.
I don't
Before
think
we
it
got
matters if they're all locked in. The only
I
teams
think it
that
matters.
are actually going for
Yeah, I don't think the Commanders want to go to Philadelphia. I think they would rather go to L.A. So I don't know if this affects it though.
I don't think they care.
Hmm.
But I think the only playoff implications this week are Atlanta and Tampa winning. If Tampa wins or Atlanta loses, Tampa gets in. If Tampa loses and Atlanta wins, Atlanta gets in.
Detroit, Minnesota. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's for number 1 seed, right?
Yep. Either one or number 5. That's like a big game.
I still got Washington beating Dallas.
Yeah, I got the Commanders as well. Panthers at Falcons. I'm going Atlanta.
I'm taking the Panthers.
Bears, Packers.
Packers.
Me as well. I got Green Bay. Texans, Titans.
Texans.
The Texans wrap that up. Like, what's going on with that?
I don't know what their standings are.
I'll go Tennessee.
Damn.
Jaguars, Colts.
Colts.
I got Colts as well. Bills, Patriots.
Bills.
Even with
Can the Bills do anything?
Even with them resting their team, I'm still going Bills. The Patriots are terrible.
Can the Bills like move anywhere, or are they number 2?
Chiefs are locked in at number 1,
and the Bills are number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Bills.
Giants at Eagles. Saquon could possibly break Eric Dickerson's rushing record.
If you were the coach, would you even put him out there for that when y'all got everything locked up? What you can do?
I would. But I'm an asshole though. So just because you don't get a chance to, it is a chance that he could get injured. But how many chances that somebody has at breaking a record? What was the last one? Adrian Peterson. He was a few yards shy of doing it back when there was only 16 games though. The Giants suck. I'm going Eagles, even with them resting their whole team.
Damn, you still got the Broncos, the Dolphins, and the Bengals all vying for that last playoff spot in the AFC. If the Broncos win, they're in. If they win or they lose and the Dolphins win, the Dolphins are in. And the Bengals need the Broncos and the Dolphins to lose and the Bengals to win.
It's a lot of complicated math going on right there.
Yeah. AFC's coming down to the wire.
You got the Eagles or Giants?
Eagles.
Saints at Bucks. Isn't this a big game? The Bucks need to win this.
The Bucks win. They control their own destiny. If they win, they're in.
Yeah. I'm going Bucks then.
Yeah, I got the Bucks also.
Chiefs, Broncos.
I'll take the Broncos. The Chiefs are gonna be sitting everybody.
Yeah, especially Patrick Mahomes been dinged up. I'm going Broncos as well. But they got the bye already. How do you feel about them not playing for 2 weeks? You think he's gonna be rusty coming back in the divisional?
They've went to the Super Bowl like 4 times in the past couple of years. I think they know what they're doing. If this
Okay.
was like the Cowboys, I'd be nervous about it. But I think the Chiefs know what they're doing. They literally have it locked up every year. Last year was the first year they didn't have home field advantage, so they've had it before. And I, they're the Chiefs are the Patriots.
I feel like they're more likable. I know you got family that are Chiefs fans too, but I don't know. I feel like Tom Brady was a douche.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. All the hate that they're getting lately, I don't understand where it's coming from.
I
Everybody
think
trying
it's
to act like the
manufactured.
referees are cheating for them and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been
stop it.
seeing that a lot of. I've been seeing that a lot on like social media. The ref mean. I think it's manufactured hate. Is because you need somebody to hate.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Chargers at Raiders. The Chargers still in it mathematically, or are they already in?
Um, I can tell you in 1 second. The Chargers are 10-6, so they are
Oh,
in.
oh, so they locked in already.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, they've already clinched. Wow, I
I
didn't
don't
know the
know.
Chargers were that good this year.
Yeah, they just in the division with the fucking Chiefs, which is unfortunate for them. But even with them, I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna get starters in for reps. So I'm gonna go Chargers.
Yeah.
Seahawks at Rams. I feel like Rams are gonna sit their people, so I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah, I'll go Seahawks also.
Dolphins at Jeff. At Jets. You said Jets need to. I mean, the Dolphins need to win, right?
The Dolphins need to win to have a shot.
So that's what I'll go with then. Dolphins.
Yeah, I'll pick the Dolphins also.
Uh, game where both of them are eliminated. So I guess who gives a fuck? 49ers at Cardinals.
Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll go with Cardinals as well. And this is the big one. This is the Sunday night game. Accordingly, Vikings traveling to Detroit to face the Lions for the number one seed in the NFC.
I feel like the Lions have become so fucking unlikable.
Really? I feel like
Yeah,
they're
ever
still
since that
like an
game with Dallas
underdog.
last year, where they fucking whined and bitched and they held a grudge and we want Dallas, and then they ran the score up this year. Like, get over it. You still got to the NFC Championship. Like, get over it already. You tried to be cute and you got caught. And then they just like, I don't know, it's just something about Dan Campbell. I just want to like, I don't like the fucking guy.
I feel like it's still the Lions at the end of the day. In my eyes, still, but I get like you have your gripes.
I also don't like the Vikings, but the Vikings, Justin Jefferson is a fucking beast. Like, if I had to pick a game based on like players I liked, I'd pick the Vikings, and their uniforms are colder.
So you going with Viking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Vikings.
I will go with 8 Mile and the Detroit Lions. And that wraps up our NFL picks of the week.
Well, that wraps up our first live boot to the face show in probably a year or so, right?
Yeah.
It's been a minute. We had a little bit of action in the chat. We'll probably promote the next couple a little bit more, but this was also the fourth annual Boot to the Face Booty Awards. So congratulations to all the winners. EJ, I appreciate you putting that little Google Doc together to let people be able to vote for it. Because usually, I think we used to just do it on Twitter. And yeah, appreciate all the help this year, EJ. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great New Year's Eve tomorrow. I'm sure you're going out slutting around the town.
Absolutely not. Um,
What do you got planned for tomorrow?
uh, I have no clue. Definitely not sliding around old guy now. I'm just like to chill.
Yeah, we went to like I talked about earlier in the show. We went to Chattanooga this weekend, so we're just gonna chill tomorrow. She wants to get a mimosa and some champagne. I'll probably drink a little whiskey. We'll sit here, maybe watch a movie, and then watch the ball drop. And then we actually got to get up early New Year's Day because we're going to the Peach Bowl.
Oh, word.
Yeah, going to see Texas and Arizona State.
I think Texas is gonna whoop the shit out of them. That's what's up.
It'll be I've never been to I've never been to a bowl game, and two, I've never been to a college football playoff game. So this one was here. I think the championship is in Atlanta, isn't it?
I think you might be right.
Shit, maybe I'll see. Tickets weren't expensive. Tickets were like $40 each.
That ain't bad at all.
Fuck no, it ain't. I mean, it's at the top of the stadium, but you still get to go to Mercedes-Benz.
I've never been to a playoff game. I've been to a bowl game, but not a playoff game. So
yeah,
hey,
so that'll be fun. And Texas is a team I've always followed. I didn't have a college football team for the longest, so I adopted Texas because of the Cowboys. And then once my buddy went to UGA and I went to a bunch of games there and started following the Dogs, I became a Dog fan. But I've always kept an eye on Texas. I love their uniforms. I just love the state of Texas. So I'll be there. I don't have any burnt orange to wear, but I'll be there cheering on the Longhorns tomorrow night. Maybe I'll see Arch Manning get out there.
Maybe. The good thing he doesn't have a head like his uncle.
Peyton catching strays for no reason on Boot to the face.
Pow, pow.
If you ain't got anything else, EJ, we'll get the hell up out of here.
Oh, man. Shout out to everybody participating in the voting, and happy holidays and happy New Year.
For EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Until next week. Peace.
Yeah, Mr. Chaos. Boot to the face. Let's go. California to Georgia, we get it poppin', homie. We taking over the game, so fuck who hatin', homie. We bounty hunting, taking all of the trash out. Your podcast a one-hit wonder like Smash Mouth. Y'all can talk all that big shit, don't wanna hear it. Shout out to the one and only Santana Garrett. Top rope, dropping elbows from other leagues. Boot to the face, hook the leg is 1, 2, 3. Chris Rucker, Marty V making mics melt. The MILF-friendly podcast will make your wife melt. Beer drinking, this whiskey chugging, this podcast. We just sit back and laugh and tell them top that. Competition is missing, you know they died off. Every shirt they put to work is looking fly, boss. You want the best in audio, there's nowhere to go. Another episode right now, start the show.